Wow, well this pulse spam has had the same fucking impact that most of our others have. Overwatch Diagnosis. I review 5 minutes of your gameplay, identify issues and provide solutions. Get your replay reviewed for free by joining my Discord. Today's player is Steven, a Tracer player who wants to improve his pulse bombs. Let's fix that. Here are the fundamentals of Tracer that apply to pulse bombs. Stay alive. More opportunities to land and charge your pulse bombs, more fights you can carry, the higher you can climb. Setups. Have the right starting position for when a fight begins to make landing pulse bombs much easier. Target priority. Using a pulse bomb on the right target is crucial to getting value.
Wow, nice mercy.
Pulse bombs are something that Tracer players struggle with all the way to top 500. How should you use pulse bombs? Opening up a fight to get a pick. A pick is an elimination that usually happens at the start of a fight. Guarantee winning a duel, and mid-fight to confirm a kill. Maybe the most important thing, who should you pulse bomb? Most times it will be a squishy hero who will die after being stuck. What is a squishy hero? A squishy hero is usually a hero with 250 HP or less, for example Zenyatta. When going for pulse bombs onto squishies, you have to think about cooldowns that could be used to counter it. The most common and the most annoying one is Suzu, but there are many others you need to be thinking about. Here's how to practice your pulse bombs, move on from each step when you land the pulses consistently. Go into the practice range, try a blink pulse, a blink 180 degree pulse, a blink 90 degree pulse, and then move on, go into the workshop code, Baxter, and practice on real heroes. And of course, the best practice is in a real game against real players. Before we have a look at Steven's pulse bombs, let's quickly have a look at the enemy comp and who would be a good pulse target. Cass when he does not have roll, Mei with no ice block, Illari pretty much at any time, Moira with no fade, and Sig if he's in range where he will die from the pulse bomb. Simple as that. So let's have a look at Steven's first pulse bomb and see how it goes. So we're on the flank. This is a great position. Why is it a great position? Because the enemy team can't see us coming. They don't know we're here. For example, the Mei, who's just used her ice block, can't anticipate the Tracer going behind her. So it's a great starting position. We're starting unseen. So we see the Moira fade, we drop onto the Moira, and then we pulse bomb her. Great pulse bomb. She has no fade, it's a guaranteed kill. What would I have done differently? I would have said that one thing you could have done differently is blinked in here instead of recalling. Why is that important? Because you keep your recall. If your team wants to follow up and stagger the enemy team, you can easily follow up on any of your ball slams, and you have your recall to get out if you need to. Next pulse bomb, same position. Again, we want to be looking for cooldowns to be used so we can capitalize off of that. We also need to be aware, right, so I don't really like this starting position anymore because we don't know where anyone is, right? We don't know where the Mei is, we can't really see the Cass. The starting position is not the worst, I just would have liked it to be around here, or if you're going to stand here, just keep looking around, keep scouting, right? You should be aware at this point that the Cassidy is on the flank because you haven't seen him. You also haven't seen the Mei, right? And those are two of your biggest threats, right? The Mei can two-shot you, the Cass can two-shot you, so you should be aware of them. Right, so we're scouting, we're getting our final pulse charge, so we get the bomb, we recall, and this is where I think we get pressured into a pulse bomb here. I'm gonna assume you went for the Illari, and in that case it would have been a great pulse bomb, but it lands on the Moira fades away, and here your pre-fight positioning, so before you use the pulse bomb, was subpar, and that forces you to make a subpar play with your pulse bomb, right? So you're in a bad position, you get forced out by the Mei pressures you to make a bad pulse bomb. So the main problem here, in my opinion, was how we set up. We weren't scouting enough beforehand, we weren't thinking about our threats. We were kind of tunnel visioned in charging our pulse bomb from the Sigma. So one thing I would have liked to do differently is here, when we come up on this angle, we can see three of them. We need to know where the other two are. We need to know where the Cass is, if he's waiting for us around here, if he's down here. Like the Mei was down here, we get our recall forced, we start panicking, and then we pulse bomb. The pulse bomb doesn't get anyone. Next pulse bomb here from Steven. So we're poking from an angle. We want to look to close the distance. However, going down this lane here is too telegraphed. It's too predictable for the enemy team, right? We want to start from an unseen position, or at least an angle, such as here. We can even go all the way around if we have time. The reason why it's so important is it makes it so that we can't get poked out easily by the Illari, by the Cass, by the Mei. These are all heroes that do a very high amount of damage to you with one shot. So entering from here, it's not the best position. I would like you to start on an angle. So same as last pulse bomb, it's going to be a bit difficult if we go straight for it from here. Great, so we take the angle, we pressure out the Moira. So here, I think the Moira is going to get her fade forced. Why is she going to get her fade forced? She's frontlining for her team. The Winston's all the way behind. She's got two people shooting her, and the Hog will probably turn around to shoot her as well. She's also got you shooting her, so it's three people. Her fade is probably going to get forced sooner or later. So here, I'd just be waiting out for the fade, looking for the pulse on her. Great, she fades. So we double blink in. And then we get headshot, and then we have to blink out. So it was the right idea going for the Moira with no fade. The problem is the pulse bomb here was just too telegraphed, right? You have to be more accurate with your blinks. You have to take a different path than double blinking into 4 people here to be able to land that. So there's 2 options we had here. One was to have really just slightly better blink management. So we blink in here and then we blink in here to get closer to the Moira. I think you mistimed where she would land after her fade. Or we could go all the way around and look for a pulse bomb here. So let's have a look at Steven's next pulse bomb. So we're on an angle here shooting the cast. We see the Illari here. And I think here the first problem before the pulse is we have target priority, right? The Illari's frontlining, our team's looking at the Illari, she's getting low and we're still focused on the cast, right? When the Illari's here, we can shoot the Illari from here, do more damage, be in a safer position and get our pulse bomb. So maybe we kill the Illari and then we can pulse bomb the cast. But instead you're too tunnel visioned on this castie right here, right? The Illari's literally, she's right next to you. She's an easy kill, if not a kill. You farm your pulse bomb and then you kill her, but instead you're way too tunneled on this cast, and that means we get our recall forced because now people are looking at us because we weren't playing cover. So now your recall is forced. Now you don't have your recall for your pulse bomb, and we're in an overtime situation. So here I think you've honestly just put yourself in a dog shit situation by not understanding you want to be playing to farm your pulse bomb, and the way you can farm your pulse bomb easily is just by playing cover and shooting the available target. Like that Illari right there, she was very available. So let's keep going and have a look. So we loop back around. I just don't like looping back around here still. I feel like you want to keep the enemy on their toes. You want to keep them guessing. Even if you're just standing behind this pillar and distracting the Illari, think of it this way, right? The Illari has to choose. Does she look at your team or does she look at you? If she looks at you, your team can pressure her. Your hog can get a hook maybe because she won't expect it. It's really easy for your team. If you stack with your team, the entire enemy team knows, oh, all 5 of them are playing here. All we have to look is here. We don't have to look here, here, here. We especially don't have to look here. Whereas if you keep playing here with your pulse bomb, I guarantee that you can find an opportunity. But right now, walking through main is going to be very awkward for us. However, we see me with no ice block here. We have 2 blinks, so we can go for a blink in, pulse bomb, blink out. But we're a bit too hesitant because of the ult. So that's no problem, but now it's reaching the point where we have to make a play, right? And can you see now how going down this lane with this kind of pre-pulse bomb setup, same as the other times, it's just fucking us over completely. It feels like there's nothing you can do here. Whereas if you would have entered from this lane, right, boom, there's one target, the May with no ice block. Boom, there's another target. Casty probably wasted his roll at some point. Boom, there's another target. The Moira probably wasted her fade. And here's the Illari. You don't even need to wait for any of her abilities to come out, right? Whereas here, there's just no access. It's way, way, way too hard for us. So we fucking double blink in, telegraph our pulse bomb, do a 360 in the middle of fucking nowhere, and then we're caught in the middle of 5 people, right? Whereas here would have been a beautiful angle for us to just go in, pulse, and get out. Even if we didn't have recall, you can blink in, pulse, blink out. Like we covered at the beginning of the video, you can just blink, pulse. Whereas here, we're just waiting too long. The pre-pulse positioning just fucked us over completely. Okay, so we died, but we're coming back for the recontest with our pulse bomb. The enemy team's using ults. Our Mago goes down. Our Bastion's on the flank, so he might die late. Our Mercy goes down. Our Lari's about to go down because she's on her own. So the best thing here would be I'm going to give you an opportunity to think about it. 3, 2, 1. The best thing to do here is hit a small reset. Just get the fuck out of here, set up for the next fight. We go in, we get a big fucking pulse bomb, we win the fight that way, and we full hold them on Junkertown. That's what we can do here. But instead, this might be one of the worst pulse bombs I've ever seen. There's no target in mind. You didn't track the bubbles. You can't track the bubbles because you just came back from spawn. The fight's already over. Simply put, this is the worst fucking pulse bomb you can do. Think about it in your head. What is the win condition? How are you going to carry this fight? What do you need to do on Tracer? Simply put, what you need to do is wait, hide, go for the recontest, go with your pulse bomb. Once someone has used one of their key cooldowns, you get a pick. It's a 5v4 or it's a 4v4 if you're still waiting for one of your teammates. Either way, it makes the fight so much more winnable. But now it's going to be really, really hard for us to get a recontest because all we can do is blink in, then maybe recall, and we don't get a kill from it. Oh, Steven, bro, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You have got to, and you died to the fucking Moira. Oh, about 3 times in a row, we failed to recontest with our pulse bomb, so we're not understanding how it's meant to be used. And most of the times, we're using it on the wrong target, or we're going from the wrong lane, and that forces a bad pulse bomb because of our pre-fight positioning. Steven, here's 3 things you need to do to improve your pulse bombs. Practice your pulse mechanics. There were too many times where it took you too long to close the distance and get the pulse thrown. Use the steps I mentioned at the start of the video to practice this. Scout more so you know where the enemy team is setting up. This gives you information on which angles are best for you to take and where your biggest threats are, as well as where the opportunities will be for pulse bombs. Be more consistent with targets and the timing of your pulse bomb. I covered target priority early in the video, so try to use that structure of figuring out which cooldowns need to be forced out before someone becomes a good target. For example, with Elari, you didn't need any cooldowns to be forced. With the Moira, you needed the fade to be forced first. With timings, we said that usually the beginning or the middle of a fight is where pulse bomb gets the most value, unless you can really clutch up a fight near the end. There were too many times where we rushed our pulse bomb at the end of the fight instead of saving it for the next one and setting up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if it helped you out.